Good morning. Video 2. So, of this journey down through the creek, through the jungle, cutting a trail to the ocean. I'll try and take you all with me a little bit, so you can get an idea what it's like. Ornery horse this morning. He's thinking grain back there. He gets grain after he works. Good morning. So this is, and then he's going to fight me. So one of the hardest parts of this is when I have to cut these trails through the jungle, chop them, and go around trees that are lying across the creek, because I don't have a chainsaw to move them, and I wish I had a GoPro too for filming this. So that's very it can be very thick, and so actually I started this project a few days ago, and I'm progressing. I'm a few miles down, and even though that there are these deals I have to go through like this, actually I'm still close to my home site, and the horses have been pasturing down on this side of the creek, and but then they go both ways from my campsite. Maybe you can see it over there, but the sun is shining that way. So this is kind of familiar turf to them right here. But every day when I go out, I try to make some progress on this. And there's my campsite. And I don't know if the big horse, I call him Clyde because Clydesdale is coming. I've been working with him. He's actually works better than Buddy does. He's just more patient and more disciplined. So there you see my tree house, and then we're off. This is there's that hanging bridge, and comes down on this side. So yeah, and it's you have to be careful, because one thing, if there's vines and things that overhang, man, you could do an Absalon and get your neck caught in one when the horse doesn't stop. Correct. All right, so we're on our way. I'll give a few shots of what I've done so far. One of the things you find as you go along, these really quiet, shady little places when you have to go around like this, go around trees or so forth like that. Sometimes you have to climb a steep bank. You know, it's kind of challenging, this project that I'm into. And I'm learning which areas. I was concerned about quicksand in the beginning, but now I'm learning where these bogs are and how to recognize them and steer clear of them. Well, this part is something I enjoy. And this is when the water gets deep. It's very soft ride, and this happens periodically. And right now he is swimming in this. It's not real deep, Okay. Now it's coming up out of that deep part, and then there'll be another part down here where he'll get to cool off. In the water as well. Tell you, I saw a really big snake, must have been about 10 foot long, yesterday. But it loves to snag the grass and weeds. Clyde doesn't tend to do that so much. Now what we're coming up on after this next little swim is the Amish, the Mennonites rather, have built, I'll make them swim for you here. They're not quite swimming. And what they have here is build a dam out of, sandbags, which is what I'd like to do, that divert the water up through here and through a water wheel. And we're going to have to cut around it up through these bushes there so we don't damage it. So yeah, this is the actual water wheel. They use this to pump water up until that watermelon patch, which is right up next to me. This isn't in my normal route here, but I thought you might find that interesting, and we're about to head on down. Come on! All right, so I spy this orchard up here, so I'm going to take advantage of it, and for a moment I will deviate from the creek and cut along the edge of this orange orchard. So this is the first little road that crosses the creek. Just a very short distance in the orchard, and so now we'll be back down to the creek. We'll cut through here a little bit. So sometimes this is the end of a day's cutting and chopping in the journey. So this, I don't know, was day 1 or something when I reached this, and then I had to chop on up through to go around it. So that's a typical thing, and we'll do that today too. So this is the first clearing kind of along the way. This is my first neighbor that's along the water that I've met. So maybe I'll go up and meet them and see how they are. Yeah, so they were very nice. I'd met them once before because I needed a ride because my vehicle's been broke down. So we sort of recognized one another, and it looks like they got a horse down here too. And they didn't speak too good English. I tried to explain to them. Be cutting this trail down here. Come on, buddy. Look alive. Look alive. All right, so we certainly had some comments about us passing through. Okay, onward. This is by no means a ride through the park, but really it's nice. It's not too bad. Sometimes I can't quite remember just how I went, and you know, I have to explore. So when I got here, I had to stop I couldn't remember. It's an interesting little cut right through these rocks where it gets pretty deep, okay? But evidently that is the way I went. But it is interesting because once you go, and Buddy hasn't come this, I used the big horse when I did this the other day. But when it's time to come back, they will duplicate the trail all the way. So you never have to really worry about getting back. You just have to worry about how to get through if it's the first time. It's really quite pretty, quite peaceful. A bit of a challenge now that I've undertaken, and really curious to see how I will persevere. Some of these rock formations are really interesting, and I understand that they're actually caves that go through pieces of mountains, and so looking forward to that. Looking forward to other tributaries coming in and making it easier creek to navigate too. Well, this sweet little spot here is apparently where I left off on my journey to the ocean the other day when I encountered this big tree laying across. And so I'll have to find a place somewhere to get around that. And we'll see if we make some progress today. But I think I'm going to end up the video with that for today. Just a little review of the mile or so that I've got prepared on my journey. So let's see where we go next. And Buddy is anxious to get back. You always give them green when they get back, and it really helps them, makes them want to get there all the quicker.